Welcome back to AR Tales. In today's story, we explore this moment. My ex is coming to our party. If you're uncomfortable, you can leave. As you listen, notice the point where you think respect for the relationship was already gone. I am 32. My name is Liam. I have been with Fiona, who is 30, for 4 years. For the last 2 years, she has lived with me in my condo. I own the place. She moved in and we agreed she would pay a small amount toward utilities and groceries. It was a simple setup, and I thought things were stable. Every year we host a big summer send-off barbecue. It is our main event. I handle the grill, the meat order, and all the drinks. She handles the guest list, the side dishes, and the decor. This year we were expecting around 50 people. It felt like our usual team project. On Wednesday night, 3 days before the party, I was on the couch finalizing the liquor store list when she dropped it. "Just a heads up," Fiona said. "I invited Dominic." I stopped writing. "Dominic," I asked. "Your ex, the guy you dated for 5 years, the one you said was so toxic you had to block him on everything." She waved a hand without looking up from her phone. "Oh, he's totally different now," she said. "He reached out a few weeks ago and apologized. He's really matured. We're just friends. I ran into him last week and told him to come." "You ran into him and invited him to our party at our home, and you are telling me now 3 days before?" I asked. She finally looked up. There was annoyance in her eyes. "Liam, don't make this a thing," she said. "It's a party. It's our home and I can invite my friends." "It's my condo," I said. "You know I'm not comfortable with him. You have told me nothing but horror stories about him. I don't want him here." This was where a healthy partner would at least meet in the middle. Instead, she went straight for shaming. She let out a long sigh. "God, you're being so insecure," she said. "It's unattractive. He's just a friend. I already told him he could come and I'm not uninviting him just because you're feeling paranoid." She stood up and started gathering her things. "Honestly, if you're going to be that uncomfortable, you can just leave for the night," she said. "Go to a bar, see a movie. It's just a few hours. I'm not going to let your jealousy ruin this." She had just told me to leave my own home so she could entertain her ex. I looked at her. The casual dismissal, the lack of respect, and a lot of small red flags from the last few months suddenly lined up. I put my pen down. "Understood," I said quietly. She smiled, relieved. "Good. Glad you're not going to be a baby about it," she said. "I'm heading to bed." I waited until I heard the bedroom door close. Then I opened my laptop, pulled up the guest list and the email invites we had sent from my account, and I started typing. Subject line, "Canceled summer send-off barbecue." "Hi everyone," I wrote. "I'm sorry to do this at the last minute, but I have to cancel this Saturday's barbecue. Fiona has informed me she invited her ex-boyfriend Dominic and would prefer to host him alone. She suggested that if I was uncomfortable, I should leave my own home for the evening to make them more comfortable. Obviously, this is not the party we all planned. I'm not willing to host an event under those circumstances, and I'm certainly not leaving my home. Sorry again for canceling. I hope to see you all under better circumstances. Best, Liam." I hit send. All 50 people. Then I went into the guest room, locked the door, and set my alarm for 6 in the morning. I woke up to the sound of her phone in the other room. It did not sound like normal notifications. It sounded non-stop, buzz after buzz after buzz. A few minutes later, the guest room door handle rattled. "Liam. Liam, are you in there? Unlock the door," she called. She stomped away, then came back. The handle rattled harder. "Liam, what did you do? My phone is exploding." "What did you send?" she yelled. I got up, made myself a coffee in the little guest room kitchenette and let her stew. Sometimes silence says more than a fight. She started screaming through the door. "You humiliated me, you psycho. You're going to regret this. Open the door," she yelled. Between the yelling, I could hear her on calls. "No, that's not what happened," she told someone. "He's twisting my words. You know I wouldn't do that. He's being controlling." "He canceled, not me." I sipped my coffee and started mentally packing. After about an hour of this, I finally opened the door. She stood there with her hair a mess, her face red and puffy, clutching her phone. "You," she said. You humiliated me. My mom called me. Maya thinks I'm some kind of cheater. You need to fix this now. Send another email. Tell them you misunderstood. Tell them you were jealous and overreacted. Apologize." I looked at her. "No," I said. "What do you mean, no?" she asked. "I mean I'm not sending another email and I'm not apologizing," I said. "I sent the truth." "Did you or did you not tell me to leave my own home so you could host your ex?" "That's not what I meant," she shouted. "You twisted it. You're supposed to trust me. This is emotional abuse." Calling basic boundaries abuse is another form of manipulation. It is meant to shut you up before you can defend yourself. "Kicking me out of my own condo for another man is what exactly?" I asked. "A welcoming gift." She stared at me like she could not believe I was not backing down. Before she could start again, the door opened and her sister Celeste walked in. Apparently she had a key. That was news to me. Celeste went straight to Fiona. "Oh my God, are you okay?" she asked. "I saw the email. He's insane. What a psycho." Then she turned to me. "You need to apologize to her," she said. "You've ruined her reputation. You know how sensitive she is. This is a complete overreaction. You're a controlling monster." "I'm controlling for not wanting to be kicked out of my own house?" I asked. "She was just flustered," Celeste said. "She didn't mean it. You're supposed to love her. You're just trying to punish her. You're probably going to kick her out, aren't you? Well, you can't. She has rights. This is her home too." With her sister behind her, Fiona straightened up. "She's right," Fiona said. "This is my home. You can't just kick me out. And after you did this to me, I'm not going anywhere." Then came her first big grab. "In fact," she said, crossing her arms, "I don't think I should have to pay for utilities this month. Or groceries. Not after the emotional distress you caused me. You can cover it. It's the least you can do after humiliating me." The entitlement was almost unreal. She wanted my home, my party, and now my money with no accountability. I nodded. "You're right," I said. "This has become a legal situation." "You're right that this is my home. Legally, you are a tenant at will, so we will handle this legally." I went to my desk, opened my laptop, pulled up a standard 30-day notice to vacate form for our state, filled it out, printed 2 copies, and walked back to the living room. I handed one to Fiona. "What is this?" she asked. "That is your formal 30-day notice to vacate," I said. "You have until the 20th of next month to be out with all your belongings. Our verbal tenancy agreement is terminated." Fiona and Celeste stared at the paper. "You're evicting me," she whispered. "I am ending your tenancy," I said. "Over you telling me to leave my home for another man. Over you inviting him behind my back. Over you showing me you have no respect for me, for this relationship, or for my home. The party just showed it clearly." Celeste started yelling again. "You will hear from our lawyer," she said. "This is retaliation. This is illegal." "I look forward to it," I said. "Please have him contact me directly. And now I need you to leave, Celeste. You are trespassing." She looked like she wanted to swing at me, but instead she grabbed Fiona and they stormed out, slamming the door. I double-locked it and put the chain on. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed. "Hey man, this is Dominic," the text said. "I don't know what your problem is, but you need to back off. Fiona is really upset. You sent some crazy email and now you're kicking her out." "Uncool. She just said we were all going to hang out. You're overreacting," I replied once. "She told me to leave my home so you two could be alone," I wrote. "Ask her about that, then lose my number." He never replied. The next days were rough. Living with someone who wants you to fail is a strange kind of war. Fiona started the petty campaign. Every morning she accidentally used all the hot water before I had to get ready for work. She forgot groceries and then ate the meals she knew I had prepped. She would come home at 2 in the morning on weeknights, turn the living room TV up loud, and fall asleep on the couch. She was trying to make me break, blow up, or leave first. Then came the legal scare. One evening, a man in a wrinkled suit knocked and handed me a letter from a law office I only knew from bus bench ads. It was a cease and desist full of typos. It claimed I was harassing her by illegally evicting her and lying to our friends. It said she was a common-law spouse and demanded 50% of my condo's equity and $10,000 for emotional distress. It also ordered me to stop packing her things because I was tampering with her property. After that, she made a move on my favorite item. I have a framed limited edition art print in my office, signed by an artist I love. I came home one day and saw a bright pink sticky note on it. "Mine," it said. "Anniversary gift 2021. Do not pack." I bought that print in 2017, a year before I even met her. She was counting on me not having proof. I was shaking with anger, but I did not yell. When someone plays dirty, emotional reactions are what they want. Documentation is what they fear. I hired my own lawyer. A real one. The retainer hurt, but it was worth it. He laughed when he read the letter. "Our state does not recognize common law marriage," he said. "Truth is a defense to defamation, and she has no claim to your equity. This is theater." On his advice, I went and bought 2 very visible security cameras and installed them in the living room and kitchen. Fiona lost it. "You're spying on me. That's illegal. I'm calling the police," she yelled. "Go ahead," I said, plugging in the last one. "This is my home. I am recording my own property and my own safety. Given your sister's surprise visits and your lawyer's false claims, I am protecting myself. If you do not want to be on camera, you are welcome to leave 18 days early." The late-night noise stopped that week. Then I dealt with the art print. I went up to the attic, dug through old boxes, and found the original gallery receipt from 2017. It had my name, the date, and the price. I made a copy and taped it to the wall next to her sticky note. She never mentioned it again. Her lawyer's letter had one useful effect. It made me suspicious. If she was bold enough to claim my art, what else was going on? I manage our shared toll pass account because it is on my credit card. I logged in to remove her transponder before the next billing cycle and decided to check the history for the last 8 months. Every Tuesday and Thursday night, like clockwork, her car went through the same toll plaza, same exit, around 9:15, and then came back through at 1:30 in the morning. That exit is across the bridge in a residential area, nowhere near her sister's place. Her story had been late-night yoga with Celeste. I Googled the exit. Then I Googled Dominic's name. His apartment complex is right off that exit. This was not some recent reconnection. This was a regular trip. For months, the party suddenly made a different kind of sense. She was not just inviting him as a friend. She was trying to blend her 2 lives and see if she could keep both. That night, when she came home, she was back in cold mode, moving around me like I was furniture. "How was yoga?" I asked. She stopped. "What?" she said. "Yoga with Celeste," I said. "It's Thursday, you went, right?" "Yes," she said. "What about it?" I turned my laptop around. On the screen was the toll history and a map. "Just admiring your dedication," I said. "Every Tuesday and Thursday all the way across the bridge to this exit. You must be tired, especially since Celeste's building is downtown in the opposite direction." I zoomed in on the map. The pin sat on Dominic's complex. "But I guess it is a good location for yoga," I said. She did not yell. She did not cry. Her face just folded in on itself. It was the look of someone who just realized the game is over. "This whole thing," I said, "the party, the he's matured story, all of it, it was a lie. You were not asking me for trust. You were asking me to step out of my own life so you could bring him in." I closed the laptop. 18 days, I said, "or you can leave now." She went into the bedroom and locked the door. My lawyer sent a response to hers, including the toll records and the receipt for the art print. The emotional distress talk went quiet after that. Finally, day 30 arrived. The notice expired at noon. I came home from work at 1 in the afternoon. She was still there, sitting on the couch, watching TV surrounded by boxes. "Fiona," I said, "it's 1 o'clock. The notice is up. You need to leave." She looked at me with a small smirk. "No," she said, "I don't think I will. My lawyer said this is all kinds of illegal. You're not getting rid of me that easy. We're going to court. You'll have to pay to evict me." She thought I would be scared of a long process and give up. "Okay," I said. I took out my phone and called the non-emergency police line. "Hello," I said. "I'd like to request a civil standby to remove a trespasser. I have a former tenant at will who has failed to vacate after a legal 30-day notice expired." Her smirk disappeared. "You're calling the cops," she said. "You're trespassing, Fiona," I said. 2 officers arrived about 20 minutes later, 1 man and 1 woman. As soon as they knocked, Fiona burst into tears. "Officers, thank God," she said, rushing to the door. "My fiancé is throwing me out. I have nowhere to go. He's been abusive. He's filming me. He's trying to steal my things." The female officer looked at me with open suspicion. "Sir, what is going on?" she asked. "You can't just throw her out on the street." This was the reaction I expected. A crying woman and a calm man can create an instant story in people's minds. I was ready. "She is not my fiancé," I said calmly. "We are not married. She was a tenant at will who paid toward utilities. Here is the deed to my condo in my name only, from 2017. Here is my driver's license with this address. Here is the state statute on tenancies at will. Here is a copy of her 30-day notice to vacate. Here is a notarized affidavit showing she received it 30 days ago. Her tenancy ended at noon. She is now a trespasser." The male officer read through the folder. The female officer's expression shifted from anger to neutral. "Ma'am," the male officer said, "this all appears to be in order. This is a civil matter. Your legal tenancy here is over. You have to leave." "But my property," she shouted, pointing at the art print. "He's stealing it. That's mine. He can't keep it." "Officers," I said, "here is the original receipt for that print dated 2017. I bought it a year before I met her. She is welcome to sue me over it if she wishes, but she cannot remove it today." The female officer sighed. "Ma'am," she said, "we can't get involved in property disputes. If something is disputed, you cannot take it. You need to gather your undisputed belongings and leave the premises." Fiona's face turned hard. "Fine," she said. Celeste was waiting outside with a rented van. It took them 4 trips to move everything. The whole time Celeste muttered "asshole" and "you'll get yours" under her breath. On the last trip, Fiona stopped in the doorway. "You're a monster, Liam," she said. "A cold, heartless monster. I hope you're happy all alone in your empty condo." "I will be," I said, and I closed the door. I locked the deadbolt. I locked the chain. I leaned against the door, my heart racing. I did not feel joy or regret, just a strange, shaky relief. Over the next week, we got 1 more letter from her bus bench lawyer, demanding $5,000 for the value of the art print. My lawyer sent back a copy of the receipt and a note warning of a counter-suit for legal fees if they kept it up. We have not heard back. The gossip trickled in through friends. Her old friend Maya, who is now firmly on my side, told me Fiona moved in with Dominic into his tiny 1-bedroom apartment that he shares with 2 roommates. The mature Dominic does not have a real job. He calls himself a crypto investor. In practice, that means he is broke. Fiona, who had grown used to my condo and my steady income, is now paying for everything and is miserable. Thrill does not pay the bills. Celeste is not speaking to her. She is furious that Fiona lied to her about the affair, dragged her into the middle of it, and made her look foolish too. As for me, I am not happy. This whole thing was draining and expensive. It cost me thousands in legal fees and 4 years of my life. I had to learn, quickly, how to be very calm and very cold just to protect myself. But I am satisfied. I had a deep cleaning crew scrub the entire condo. I changed the locks again, just in case. The air feels lighter. I took the original barbecue email list and sent 1 more message. I told everyone that things were clear now, that the trash had been taken out and that I was finally hosting the barbecue in 2 weeks. My home, my rules. Dominic is not invited. The replies have been great. People are coming. This time, the party is truly mine. Lesson 1. When someone tells you to leave your own home so their ex can feel comfortable, you are not being insecure. You are being shown exactly how little they value you. Lesson 2. Calling your reasonable boundary jealousy or abuse is a way to avoid accountability. You do not have to accept that framing. Lesson 3. If you own your home, treat it like a serious legal responsibility. Clear agreements, proper notices, and documentation protect you when things go bad. Lesson 4. Being calm, prepared, and factual often does more for your safety than arguing or exploding in the moment. Lesson 5. You are not responsible for fixing the consequences someone else created through lying, cheating, and entitlement, even if their family and friends try to guilt you. What about you? At what point in this story would you have canceled the party or ended the relationship? And would you have told the guests what really happened or handled it in a different way?